Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showcasing my light control project. Let's get started. Alright, so here's our first component, the RGB LED. I've already showcased this component in previous videos, but just to give a quick overview, this is a common cathode RGB LED, which means that this longest leg right here is connected to ground. Then we have red, green, and blue connected, and basically the function of this part is to display any color that is needed to be required, from white to nothing. It should be white to black, but since it's not possible to display a black LED, it's just going to turn off. And we have to have current limiting resistors here so that the LED does not blow off. So how do TV remotes work today? Well, here it is in Arduino terms. Here we have a simple Arduino IR remote and an IR receiver. The IR remote has an IR transmitter which shoots out infrared light, which is invisible to the human eye. The IR receiver receives this light and turns it into electrical signals in the form of hexadecimal code, which I will show later in the video. Check it out. And here we have ground, 5 volts, and signal. This is sent to a microcontroller, namely the Arduino in this situation, which interprets what to do with that hexadecimal code. And I think the most important thing to remember about this is that these buttons are programmable in any way, meaning that this power button might not actually turn things on. It's what you program it to do that allows it to do that. And this is present in most mass-produced TV remotes and signals today. All right, let's get started actually showing off the project here. So first, let's turn the LED on. And remember, I programmed it to do this. Sorry if it's a little bright. Let me turn it down a little bit. There we go. All right. Now let's cycle through some colors, all right? So first we have 1, which turns it red. Then we have 2, which turns it green. 3, which turns it blue. 4, which turns it green, light green. And 5, which turns it aquamarine or light blue. And 6, which turns it purple. If we wanted to go back to white, we'll have it go to 0. I think this is a little bit too dim. Let's turn it up a little bit. Keep going. There we go. All right, let's turn this off. And there we have it. That's essentially the project. Now, remember what I said before, that all of these buttons are programmed? So I programmed all of these buttons to, for the numbers, display different colors, and for the up and down to dim and brighten the LED respectively. The power button turns on the LED and the stop button turns off the LED. All right, let's do a quick run through some of the code that makes this possible. So here we have the IR remote library, which is necessary for some of the code that we're going to write later. Here we have the 3 ports for red, blue, and green for the RGB LED. Here we have 3 different variables, which I'll show their functions later. Float dim, this is the dimness level, which will also come into play later. And this is the IR signal port that I mentioned earlier. Here we have a string commander, which I'll use for just from checking for my purposes. Then we begin the serial monitor, and then we have red, green, and blue as outputs. And then this is some special code for the IR remote, or the IR receiver actually, where we started using the signal port. All right, now we set up a while IR receiver.decode equals 0, right? So while nothing is happening, don't do anything. That's basically what it's saying. And until something is pressed, right, we're gonna wait. And then when something is pressed, we shoot out and we run all the rest of this code, right? So we print out exactly what was pressed, and we delay. And then we resume the receiver after half a second. This is to ensure that we don't press things too fast and it glitches out, right? And now we're gonna do a bunch of checking, all right? So this is a special command that checks what exactly the hexadecimal code was. And so here you see this is hexadecimal right here, actually more specifically this right here. This is a numbering system where instead of base 10, like we count like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, this one counts from 0 to F, which is actually 0 to 15, right? And so this allows for more data to be stored, and it's more clear and precise in terms of computer programming, right? But this is the data for 0, right? The button 0 on the I remote translates to this hexadecimal code. All right, then this is for my checking purposes, where we label commander 0 and we print out commander to the serial monitor, which I'll show up here, right? We can see that here we have the binary, or the hexadecimal, and the string 0 being printed, right? And that's the serial monitor. And this is for me to check so that everything is running correctly, right? And then we have these ones, RB, GB, and BB, right? And here we set RB to 255, GB 255, BB 255. So these are the values for the RGB LED. 255 means fully on, and 0 means fully off, right? And later, these values that we've assigned to these 3 variables will be implemented at the very end of the code. All right, now here we do a bunch of checking, and these values will represent different colors, and we keep going, right? Then we come to special command, volume plus, right? And this is the brightening of the LED, right? And here we use the dim variable, where dim equals dim times 1.25. This is going to increment the dim variable logarithmically if it was pressed multiple times, right? And so this allows us to have our LED be brightened unless it's over 1, in which case dim will equal 1, which means it's at its max brightness. All right, and here we have the down button, which is our dimming of the LED. And here you can see dim equals dim times 0.75. Obviously, dim can never reach 0, so we don't need to have a checker for this one, for that one, like we did for this one, where it has to be greater than 1 for it to equal 1, right? And then here we have func stop, which turns off the LED entirely, and it also sets dim to 0 to ensure that there's no floating variables lying around. All right, here, most important part of the code, where we actually write the values of RB, GB, and BB to the LED, right? And here we do red, green, and blue. These are the 3 ports. And then we do our variable times dim. And if you remember, dim was the brightness level, basically, right? So here, it's gonna be the same color regardless of how high dim is. It's just gonna be dimmer or brighter. And that's what we're doing here, right? And that's it. That's really it. It's a very simple project. It seems like it has a lot of code, but really it's a lot of the same thing. And you just have to check. You have to check what color you want and the dimness level. That's it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, go ahead and check out the YouTube Shorts portion of my channel, where I showcase how to use these components exactly as I have done in these videos. Also, you can check out my website, which I'll put up right now, and go ahead and check out all the rest of my projects in a super organized and pretty good looking way, in my opinion. If you want more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and like this video. I'll see you in the next one.